Okay, hello everyone. So today I thought I would share an application of Barry Harris's borrowing idea, and to show kind of what he does on Woody and You, which is a beautiful progression of minor two fives. You know, that's a and Barry does this intro that goes like, it's kind of taking the idea of the background line. Um, and it goes something like this. Really pretty. And it's a great place to really practice a lot of the borrowing ideas. So let's get right into it. So it starts with a G minor 7 flat 5. And in Barry World, those of you that know Barry World, you know that a G minor 7 flat 5 is really a B flat minor 6 with the 6 in the bass. So it's a minor with the 6 in the bass. And so he'll tell you to go, okay, take a B flat minor triad, double Fs, with a B. He'll call this an arpeggio because it's got a double. Okay. Now, the bass is a G, and there's your 6 in the bass. Now, as you know, you can play a B flat minor 6 diminished. Now, for more on this, look at my 10-chord Barry Harris routine video, which I'll link to in the description. There's two versions, one on 3 notes, one on closed position. You can also do drop 2. There's all different ways of doing this. But this is actually one of the rules which says, again, a B flat minor 6 is equal to a G minor 7. So you would use a G minor 7 flat 5. So you would use a G minor 6 diminished. Okay? Which means you have two chords. You have the chord tone notes, two sets of notes. Chord tone notes, which are B flat, D flat, F, and G. And you have the diminished notes, which are A, C, E flat, and F sharp. And by borrowing, you can borrow from one side while you're playing the other. So if I'm playing the chord tone side, maybe I'll borrow one of these diminished notes, and I'll end up with. And here's my diminished. I'll borrow a 6th note. And actually, I never did this one before. It's kind of pretty. And again, it's hard to notate something like that. What are you going to say? A B flat minor 6 flat 6? You know, it's really hard when it gets to writing chord changes to write these sounds. But, you know, we know that it's just a borrowed diminished note. And there are 4 diminished notes, obviously. So I couldn't, I didn't have to borrow the F sharp. What if I borrowed the E flat? That's a very pretty one, if I can do it. What chord am I playing? B flat minor 6. Oof. Actually ended up borrowing 2 notes. You see, how would you write a chord change for that? Seems impossible, but I know it's just a bunch of borrowed notes. Well, now let's get to Woody and You. So this is the principle behind Woody and You. So let's say I wanted to borrow the A. Sorry, let's start with this one. No, let's start with this one. Start with the A for the B flat. So I end up kind of with this F augmented. Right? So that's borrowing one note. Yeah, I don't have to borrow this A. I could also borrow this C. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh yeah, and I don't even have to resolve it. I could go. That's pretty. So I guess what I did was I borrowed two. That was going to be my next step, but I'll just skip ahead to it. So you could borrow two notes. I could borrow the A for the B flat and the C for the D flat and end up with. There's that. Now, I don't have to resolve them. I could keep one of them borrowed. I could suspend one of them. You can get so much beautiful movement. And now the really cool one. This is what Barry does. He'll borrow the bass, the F sharp for the bass. Let's not borrow in the right hand just for clarity to start. So I just borrowed the diminished note in the bass, and I end up with a G flat major 7. Right now I'm going to F minor 7 flat 5. If I borrow the E major, I'll get an E major. E natural. D natural gives me a D major 7. For the E minor 7, E flat minor 7 flat 5. Now I could borrow all three. And that's it. So any combination, you could do any combination of these and do a different one on every chorus. So you have the same sort of sound flavor, but a slightly different variation, and it's really quite beautiful. And you could improvise over it too. So I'm gonna improvise on a G flat major 7 on this. That works so nice. E major 7. Woo-wee. So you can use the same idea melodically, not just harmonically. So that's it. That's a beautiful application of diminished borrowing. There's a video on that. I will link to the description if you need a slightly deeper dive on the whole idea of borrowing. But this is one of the really beautiful applications of it, and one of my favorite ways Barry plays it. And there's a couple other related videos that I'll link to, and Yeah, and by all means, if this is useful to you, then please consider visiting my Patreon page, patreon.com/Isaac Roz, where you will find some screen grabs of material. I'll post this transcription of this, and and once again, thank you to all of my generous patrons. You definitely make these videos possible. So thank you very very much. And yeah, keep swinging out there. Keep those questions coming too. Love the questions. Love the suggestions of where to use it. So and then if you have any ideas about videos or anything, by all means, drop them in the chat because I believe this is a conversation, and let's have it. Okay. Thank you, guys. Keep swinging out there.